Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders are staring down the barrel of what could be a disastrous 2026 season, and the blame lands squarely on General Manager Adam Peters, whose roster moves in 2025 have left the team dangerously exposed. After a magical run in 2024 that saw rookie quarterback JAYDEN take the league by storm and carry the Commanders all the way to the NFC Championship game, expectations were sky high. Fans dreamed of a Super Bowl-caliber roster, and Peters had the chance to solidify a dynasty around a young quarterback on a rookie contract. Instead, the decisions made over the past 12 months have created a roster riddled with glaring weaknesses, and as the new season approaches, the cracks are only becoming more apparent. It is not just a matter of poor luck or untimely injuries. This is a reflection of strategic missteps that could haunt Peters and the franchise for years to come. The Commanders' journey from NFC Championship hopefuls to a team with serious defensive and offensive questions is a cautionary tale about how one draft pick, one free agent decision, or one failed gamble can snowball into organizational instability. The central issue revolves around Peters' choices during the 2025 draft. While the team succeeded in 2024, Peters decided to focus on the offensive line in the first round, selecting Josh Connerly Jr., an offensive lineman with potential but not the immediate impact needed to address glaring weaknesses on defense. Connerly started all 17 games last season and may have a long-term future as a starter, but the short-term consequences are undeniable. By passing on an edge rusher, Peters left the team without the disruptive presence that could pressure opposing quarterbacks and create turnovers, something the Commanders desperately needed. The case of Nick Scourton serves as a stark example. Scourton, rated number 5 among edge rushers by Pro Football Focus and ranked 29 on the overall draft board, was available exactly when the Commanders had the 29 pick, yet Peters passed. Scourton would not be selected until pick 51, when the Panthers grabbed him, and he promptly delivered 5 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and 31 pressures, the highest for a rookie in tracking history. Meanwhile, the Commanders finished 22nd in the NFL in pressure rate, highlighting the tangible impact of Peters' decision. Scourton is also the type of infectious, high-effort player who can elevate a team's culture, an intangible loss that cannot be ignored. The defensive woes of the Commanders extend far beyond draft missteps. The roster is aging, underperforming, and lacking depth. Veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner, who led the team in tackles and added 2 interceptions, is 35 and likely near the end of his career. Von Miller, leading in sacks at 36, faces similar questions about longevity. The cornerback room is thin, with Mike Sainristil performing admirably with 4 interceptions and 12 passes defended, but lacking the elite-level talent to change games consistently. Trey Amos, a promising rookie, showed flashes before injury, but no young cornerback has emerged as a true impact player. Defensive tackle Darren Payne, once a Pro Bowl standout, has declined sharply, totaling 3 sacks and 8 quarterback hits, while Javon Kinlaw, despite a 3-year $45 million contract, produced 0 sacks and just 3 QB hits. Linebacker Frankie Louvu's regression from 8 sacks and 99 tackles in 2024 to only 3 sacks and 86 tackles in 2025 illustrates a wider pattern of underperformance. Marshawn Lattimore's struggles make his future with the team uncertain, and with a roster this depleted and aging, Peters faces a monumental challenge in reconstructing a defense capable of competing. Offensively, the outlook is only marginally better. JAYDEN remains a rare bright spot, but his health is paramount after a season of widespread injuries. Terry McLaurin, at 31, is coming off a season limited to 582 yards and 3 touchdowns in 10 games, raising questions about whether his 3-year, $96 million contract represents good value. While McLaurin has a history of consistent production, his peak years are behind him, and his performance in 2025 underscores the difficulty of relying on aging talent. Deebo Samuel is also moving past his prime. The offensive line remains inconsistent. The running backs are below average, and the tight end room is underwhelming, particularly if Zach Ertz retires as expected. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt offers a small glimmer of hope, but as a seventh-round selection with only a few standout games, he cannot carry significant offensive responsibility. Peters' task is clear. He must prioritize speed, playmaking ability, and youthful potential if the Commanders are to mount a competitive season in 2026. The lack of Pro Bowl talent tells a story of organizational struggle. The only player representing the team in the Pro Bowl was punter Tressway, a sign of the Commanders' failure to assemble an elite roster. Offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil deserved recognition with a top-3 pass-blocking grade, but beyond Daniels and a few linemen, excitement is scarce. The offense needs explosive players, a fast receiver, a game-breaking running back, and a tight end capable of stretching defenses. Defensively, the team must acquire athletes who can generate turnovers and pressure quarterbacks effectively, correcting a 25 season that produced only 10 takeaways over 17 games. The absence of speed and dynamism has left both sides of the ball plodding and predictable, a fundamental flaw that Peters must address through strategic draft selections and targeted free agent acquisitions. Amidst the chaos, there are individual bright spots that highlight the human element of the sport. Bobby Wagner made history, recording his 2000th career tackle during the season finale against the Philadelphia Eagles, becoming only the third player in NFL history to reach that milestone alongside London Fletcher and Ray Lewis. At 35, Wagner added 5 tackles in that game, capping a season that saw him accumulate 162 tackles despite the team finishing with a 5-win, 12-loss record. His achievement demonstrates remarkable durability, leadership, and football IQ, and it provides a blueprint for the kind of veteran presence the Commanders desperately need. Von Miller, despite being 36, tied for 9th all-time in career sacks with 138.5, earning a $500,000 bonus for his 9 sacks in 2025. Both veterans are on one-year deals, but their performances prove that even in a season of turmoil, elite talent can still shine. Their leadership could help anchor a young defense, but it remains unclear if Peters will retain either player as he attempts to rebuild the roster. The looming question for the Commanders is simple but daunting. How does Adam Peters fix a roster in crisis while maintaining hope for the future? The 2026 offseason will require a combination of careful drafting, savvy free agent signings, and perhaps a willingness to part ways with aging veterans who no longer offer the impact needed to compete. The defense needs a total reconstruction. Speed and playmaking ability must be prioritized on offense, and the culture of accountability and effort that Skowhegan represents is a blueprint for the intangible qualities that the team cannot afford to ignore. Peters must balance patience with urgency, recognizing that the franchise's window to capitalize on Jayden Daniels' rookie contract is limited. Success will require not just intelligent personnel decisions, but also an ability to anticipate injuries, development curves, and the unpredictable variables that define every NFL season. If Peters fails to address these roster deficiencies, Washington fans should brace for a season that may mirror or even surpass the disappointments of 2025. Conversely, if he executes a bold and calculated rebuild, the team could surprise skeptics and lay the foundation for a return to contention in 2027 and beyond. In summary, the Washington Commanders are at a crossroads. The brilliance of 2024 has been overshadowed by poor roster construction, aging veterans, and underperforming free agent signings. Adam Peters faces a daunting challenge in 2026, with a roster lacking depth, speed, and consistent playmakers on both sides of the ball. Injuries have exposed weaknesses, draft choices have failed to generate immediate returns, and the team's defensive and offensive units are far from cohesive. Yet within the turmoil, Wagner and Miller provide glimmers of hope, demonstrating that leadership, effort, and elite-level performance are still possible even in a struggling environment. The upcoming offseason will test Peters' acumen and vision as a general manager, and the decisions he makes could define his legacy. For fans, the path forward is uncertain, fraught with challenges, but not without potential. The Commanders' 2026 season promises to be a story of either redemption or collapse, and the football world will be watching closely as Adam Peters attempts to navigate one of the most critical periods in the franchise's recent history. The stakes could not be higher, and the time for decisive, intelligent action is now. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Hold on to your seats, folks, because the football world is buzzing like never before. And if you thought the offseason was going to be quiet, think again, because the Commanders have just pulled off a move that has every analyst, scout, and fan on the edge of their seats. The whispers that have been circulating for weeks, the late-night speculation in corners of social media, and those little hints dropped by insiders are finally confirmed. The Commanders have officially secured Jordan TYSON, the wide receiver many are already calling unmatchable, and the timing could not be more explosive. This is the kind of acquisition that makes people stop scrolling and start paying attention, because the combination we are potentially about to witness between TYSON and JAYDEN is nothing short of electrifying. Imagine a receiver whose speed, agility, and instincts on the field seem almost unnatural, paired with a quarterback who is just as hungry for connection and magic. In the pocket, that's the kind of chemistry that can rewrite expectations and elevate a team from competitive to truly terrifying. The buzz around TYSON is not just hype, and this isn't some fleeting trend that will fade once preseason starts. Scouts have been raving for months about his uncanny ability to create separation in ways that feel impossible. They talk about his footwork, his timing, the way he reads defenses almost before they even know what they are doing, and the precision with which he tracks the ball in midair. Some have even gone so far as to call him immarkable, a term you rarely hear tossed around without a mix of awe and disbelief. The way he moves on the field, weaving through coverage with the grace of a dancer, yet the ruthlessness of a predator, has defenders scratching their heads and commentators losing their cool. And now, the Commanders have placed him in the perfect position to explode, because his connection with JAYDEN, already one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league, could redefine the passing game in ways that no one is fully prepared for. Every route, every throw, every subtle glance across the field suddenly becomes a potential highlight reel moment. The speculation around how fast TYSON can adapt, how quickly he can sync with JAYDEN's rhythm, and whether defenses will even be able to touch him is spreading like wildfire. Insiders hint that the Commanders' front office has been working on this quietly for months, playing the long game, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Sources say that TYSON's work ethic, his intelligence in the film room, and his commitment to understanding every nuance of the playbook were key factors in landing him. It's not just about raw talent, it's about fit. And if the whispers are to be believed, the Commanders were determined to find a player who not only possesses elite skills, but also fits the culture and can elevate the team's identity. The moment they saw TYSON's potential, the plan seemed almost inevitable. The narrative that's forming now in locker rooms and social media circles is that this is a partnership that could shake up the league. Every throw that JAYDEN makes to TYSON is already being analyzed in speculation threads, with fans imagining the possibilities of deep bombs, precise timing routes, and acrobatic catches that leave stadiums and screens collectively gasping. The rumors extend even further into what this could mean for the Commanders' offensive strategy. Some insiders suggest that the team might start employing more creative, high-risk, high-reward plays designed specifically to leverage TYSON's extraordinary abilities. Think about it. A receiver who can seemingly defy coverage, and a quarterback with the arm, vision, and instinct to exploit those moments. That's a recipe for highlight after highlight. Analysts are already projecting that defenses will have to rethink their approach entirely, possibly dedicating double or even triple coverage to contain TYSON, which in turn opens opportunities for other players. The speculation alone is enough to make opposing coordinators lose sleep, because the presence of a player like TYSON on the field changes everything. It shifts the balance of power, forces adjustments, and creates a psychological edge even before the first snap. Fans are reacting in waves of excitement and disbelief. Social media is erupting with potential scenarios, gifs of past plays being dissected, and comparisons to some of the great duos in football history. There's a sense of inevitability in the chatter. That Tyson and JAYDEN together are not just a pairing, but a statement. A statement that the Commanders are serious about shaking things up, about taking risks that could pay off in the most spectacular ways. Rumor has it that the locker room itself is buzzing with energy, that veteran players are rallying around the arrival of this new talent, and that the atmosphere during practice sessions is already electric. You can almost imagine the conversations, the competitive fire, the unspoken understanding that something big is coming. Even the coaching staff is rumored to be adjusting their playbooks and designing packages that specifically cater to Tyson's strengths, which could make the offensive schemes more dynamic and unpredictable than ever before. What's particularly tantalizing about this rumor mill is the way people are projecting Tyson's first moments on the field. Some speculate that his early games could be historic, that he might immediately become the focal point of the offense, and that defenses simply won't have an answer. Others are playing the long game, imagining how he could develop into a receiver who not only dazzles with individual brilliance, but also elevates everyone around him. There's a narrative forming that this isn't just a signing. It's the beginning of a new chapter, the kind of story that analysts and fans will reference for years to come. Every throw JAYDEN makes to Tyson, every defensive adjustment, every reaction from the crowd could become part of the lore that defines the team's trajectory in the coming seasons. The speculation alone is creating a frenzy of anticipation that feels almost cinematic. And let's not forget the psychological dimension. For a team like the Commanders, landing a player of Tyson's caliber is more than just a roster move. It's a message to the league. It signals ambition, confidence, and the willingness to push boundaries. Rumors hint that rival teams are already recalculating their strategies, trying to anticipate how the Commanders might use this new weapon. Coaches are reportedly in heated meetings, analysts are furiously typing out columns, and fans are collectively losing their minds trying to imagine what the first few matchups could look like. Tyson's reputation as unmatchable adds a layer of drama that only intensifies with each passing day, because speculation thrives on uncertainty, and nobody wants to miss the moment when theory becomes reality. The narrative is building toward something monumental, and even casual observers are being drawn into the excitement, imagining the plays, the chemistry, and the sheer spectacle of all. In the end, whether you're a diehard Commanders fan, a casual observer, or a rival team trying to figure out how to respond, the addition of Jordan TYSON is shaping up to be one of the most tantalizing stories in recent memory. The speculation, the hype, the what-ifs are already dominating conversations, and every analyst has a slightly different take, all of them animated and passionate. The synergy between Tyson and JAYDEN is not something that can be measured easily on paper, and that's precisely why the anticipation is so high. Every rumor, every whisper, every headline contributes to a growing sense of expectation that this pairing could change the game entirely. The football world is holding its breath, waiting for the moment when all this talk turns into action, when the unmatchable shows the league what he is truly capable of, and when fans witness a connection that could very well become legendary. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.